So in today's video we're looking at a few positions which I believe you shouldn't really use in solo queue. Not too often, at least. I feel like they are disadvantageous to use in solo queue because you do not know your teammates. They may not have the same level of teamwork as you, or dedication to helping each other, actually getting the win, right? So the first one on the board is actually Dust 2 A-Long at the car. So this is a common position for people to play, and it's kind of luring as well because you're like, oh well, I can play behind the car, that's good cover. But in this clip we're seeing a player get Molotov'd out. They then put the smoke onto the Molotov, but then that gives the indication you are there. They then try and flash themselves out, because you're not sure if your teammates are there to help you, and in the process of trying to run away, they fall. This happens quite often, and then the second one we're going to show is actually Inferno at the first oranges, which is a position I personally absolutely hate when a CT plays here, because I feel like it's basically a dead giveaway that you are going to probably die. Like, so you might be checking, for contact here at the front, you get blinded, you make noise having to get back into the first oranges, they execute, they Molotov you, you try and flash out, the flash is a bit awkward, the Molotov spreads, you don't get a chance to live really, you don't get a chance to even fight. And never mind the potential where in pool, they can actually see your side before you can see them. On Mirage, it's actually the sandwich area, which, they're not bad positions per se, like, don't get me wrong, but the main thing about them is the fact that you can get isolated very easily, and also the fact that utility is used on these positions quite often to clean them. So in this case we're showing here that we've recreated, this is actually an instance where the player in sandwich, they actually get contact towards Palace, they do great damage, they dink the player. But that's not quite enough, you need 100 points of damage, and without assistance, it's kind of difficult to get the player out of there. And unfortunately we're going to see the actual sad part about this, which is where they Molotov the player in sandwich. Even though it's not a great Molotov, it'll spread around the corner, and then that means they do fall. Next one shown is actually an Overpass, so the barrel's position. And this one's a pretty common one, right? Barrels is a really good position, so long as you have your teammates to assist you, right? In this instance, the player is Molotov, they put it out, and instead of being able to try and run away, like we saw in those previous cases, they end up getting spammed straight through the smoke because there is a limited area where they can be. And now the last one is Vertigo at the Sandbags. So the Sandbags used to be quite a common spot for people to play really early on. They don't play as much now, but we've now got to a point where Molotovs is getting used on Sandbags every round basically. And when you smoke it out, as you can see here, it's really difficult to get away without your teammates flashing for you. It's the same thing as we saw along car and many other positions.